And this is This Week in Car Audio. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Tune in. We'll be talking about bass, talking about chips, talking about rings. You ain't got them, zip your lip. You got a problem you haven't found, check your grounds. The show about to start. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Yeah. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio.
All right, guys, welcome. Let's try this again to This Week in Car Audio with your host, Doug Stockton, the judge, and your co host, Lucky McGovern.
What's going on, everybody?
Now, besides for the two of us here, we got Street Stock world champion for Street Stock 1K, Mel Valadez. Thank you for joining us today, Mel.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Don't mind me, guys. I got to get in here and share this with all these different groups. So I'll let you guys take over for a minute, actually a few minutes, so you guys can go ahead and kick it off, Doug.
Yeah, so sorry we were late. The problem was I was sharing it on my personal page, so therefore it wasn't showing up anywhere else. And then once it was on my personal page, I couldn't share it to here. So let's just real quick. We got Rob Collar, we got Woody McDonald, we got Travis, we got Joe Gullion, Woody, Rob, Greg Cleary. Hey, we got a good group of people in here. Rosa Espinoza. About damn time we see Moses and his old lady back in here. Been a minute. All right.
Right?
Yeah. So the first thing I do want to say is my apologies to Smash and Josh Tattoo. During the podcast last week, I said he did like a 148 in the death match. And the facts are no. So I went back and looked, and he was at a 150 point something for a good chunk of the run. And I know how hard it is to get even one, couple tenths of a dB. So I meant zero disrespect to him and saying he was only doing a 48. He was actually doing a 50 plus. And I just wanted to make that clear and get that straight. So I absolutely apologize to Josh Tattoo, Team DC Josh, and his ride Smash. So, all right. So let's get into this a little bit, Mel. So, Mel, where do you hail from here right now? So everybody can get a little bit about you.
I'm in Texas, and I'm in Fort Worth, Texas. So that is in the DFW Metroplex, so Dallas and Fort Worth. So that's where I reside right now.
That's where I'm moving to, I hear.
Oh, okay, very cool.
Probably Mesquite, right? That's the east side of Dallas?
So, yeah, that's on the east side of Dallas. That's on the other side of where I live.
Okay. So how are houses on lakes there?
They're very expensive.
Well, that's okay. I live in a very expensive house on a lake here in California. How much more expensive can it be?
You can probably get a very big home for the price that you're paying in California here in Texas.
Yeah, my neighbor just sold their house for $1,025,000.
Yeah, that can buy a nice house down here.
Yeah. So, but this is the third house. I bought a double wide. Was my first house. No, single wide. Then I upgraded to a double wide. That's right. I'm white trailer trash. And then we bought a house. We lived in that house for 20 or 21 years, and we sold that house, and that gave us enough of a down payment to purchase the current house, which we got it at a lull in the market, so everything seemed to work out really well. Now I hope when and if we move to Texas, because my daughter's soon-to-be husband is looking at being on the Mesquite Fire Department, is what he's hoping to get a job as. So my wife says, I'll be damned if we aren't going to live near our grandkids. So
yeah, and Mesquite's a very good place to raise a family.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, so that's just kind of where I'm at. So you're in Dallas Fort Worth area, and so what's your day job? Let's talk about your day job, so everybody can hit you up about your day job.
So I'm a rep for AMP of America, or AMP Global is what we're called now.
Okay.
And we are the makers of Stinger, Pack, Echo Master, Best Kits, and Phoenix Gold car audio. So we are I consider us to be the DuPont of car audio because we're like the chemical company, the background company that you need for wiring and dash kits and uh, you know uh, stereo accessories and so on like that.
Very cool. All right. Yeah. So that's what you do. Okay. So first off, tell us about your journey this year. Let's start there.
The journey was pretty long and it was pretty fun to be honest with you. It was very memorable. Having to go to the East Coast and the West Coast to claim the title was something that we weren't planning on doing, but when they released it, it was something that my wife really pushed me to do, and she thought that it would be good for us to try and get that. So went through that journey, and that was, I mean, I'm glad I did. It was just amazing. West Coast was amazing.
Okay.
East Coast is always fun and intense.
Yep. All right. So how many points did you end up getting this year? Did you get right at the 100? How were you getting your points?
No, I started off early, and I ended up having about 269 points.
Damn, lucky he was going after you.
Right, gunning for me, gunning for me.
So before Jeffrey came into Texas, I had to travel outside of the state so that I can get my points. How I became good friends with Jeremy Creamer on the East Coast because I was attending his shows quite often.
Okay. Cool. So you did obviously all the ones at the Crossfire location, right?
Yeah, thankfully Roger really stepped up, and he's been trying to get DB Drag Racing to have a presence in Texas and Jeffrey as well, and they did really well this year. For the last 2 years, they've done really well, and we sent I think 7 or 8 to
Oh,
World
cool.
Finals this year. So that in itself was really worth it because when we started in 2019, I was the only competitor from Texas, and so
Okay.
that was a lot of traveling to Tennessee, to Albuquerque, New Mexico, to Alabama, to Florida. So it was a lot of traveling by myself, and so it was really nice for them to come out here and have their shows in Texas.
Awesome. Awesome. Hey, just real quick, so I know you're near, so you sponsor or you rep Phoenix Gold. I'm guessing that's not what you have in your ride. So what were you running for stuff to get your world championship? What vehicle and what was in it?
So we didn't run Phoenix Gold because we didn't have product that was big enough for that. We have an 800-watt amplifier. We needed a bigger amplifier for the class. We don't have 15-inch subwoofers. We had 12-inch subwoofers and 10-inch subwoofers, and those are the biggest ones we make.
Okay.
So we needed the cone area. So we ended up at first running DC audio.
Okay.
And then I had a little bit of trouble with the subs and stuff like that. So we had to switch them out. Great product. DC Audio is great product. We just had a malfunction on our end on the installation part of it. I dropped an iron on one of the subwoofers, and so,
that'll affect things a little bit, just a little. Yeah.
So Rusty was trying to bail us out as much as he could, and unfortunately, it just didn't work out. And Roger stepped up to the plate, and he sponsored us, and he let us use some Crossfire 15s.
Okay. And what'd you end up using for amps? The Crossfire 15s and what amps?
I use a Sound Digital 12K is what we ended up using in the vehicle.
I hate Sound Digital. No.
Yeah, here you go.
No.
We
there
ain't
are
brand bashing
we
on
don't
here,
brand
are we?
bash. No. So just so some people know, the Sound Digitals, there are some that are not legal or they're not legal for your class. I don't know which model they are, but some of them do not clamp correctly, right? Is it Sound Digital or Terra amps?
Yeah, it was the first
Amps.
generation that did that, and so they ended up fixing that issue and so forth.
Did.
And yeah, we ended up getting the second and third generation amplifiers.
Yeah, those first generation ones would shock the piss out of me. I go to plug in the things, they aren't even on.
Oh man.
So no, that was all good stuff. Anyway, so what was the vehicle? I didn't hear you say the vehicle that you had. It was blue.
We have a 2000 Ford Explorer, and
an Exploder.
yeah, my company stepped up, and they ended up working out a deal with me to get me the 38 boxes of sound deadener that we used in the vehicle. So
I'm
30
sorry. Can you run that by me again?
38 boxes of sound deadener. That's correct.
38 boxes of sound deadener.
One box
Yeah.
is only 22 square feet or something like that.
36 square feet for
36
one
square
box.
feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
Times multiple layers.
times multiple layers, times multiple panels, and so forth, and of course testing and so on, and then the wiring that we needed. So I was probably one of the only competitors running
Stinger.
0 gauge speaker wire.
Oh, that's right. I remember. Yeah, I looked at his amp when we go to plug in the thing, and I'm like, this OCT gauge, that's your speaker wire? He goes, yep.
Wow.
And Stinger stepped up and they helped us out with that as well too. We ended up using the Heighten radio, which is a very popular piece right now because of its high output voltage and so forth. So yeah, that was something that we ended up using.
Okay.
Very cool. So, about your journey east and west, we've already talked to Rob Culler. He did the same thing as you. Moses Martinez. Martinez. Let me say it right since he's watching. Moses competed, did the drive all the way across country, did all that stuff. So we've talked to him. I don't think we haven't talked to him since, but we talked to him when he was getting ready to do it. And I talked to him personally at both events, and he was like, "It was a great decision to do that." Can you tell us, anything happened on your trip or anything like that, or was it just pretty uneventful and just a lot of window time?
A lot happened to us. Actually, I was traveling with my teammate Donnie Keller, and we were traveling to the East Coast Finals, and we had a wheel and a hub come off of his trailer.
Ooh.
So, and that was, we discovered that at the very beginning part of our trip when we were stopping in Louisiana to use the bathroom. And we come outside and we notice that the car is leaning, and basically he was missing an entire wheel and hub assembly. So we drove from Louisiana all the way to Alabama and back to Texas on 3 wheels on the trailer. So yeah, thankfully that was the only thing that happened.
We call that 3-wheel motion on the West Coast.
You get a little bit of lean.
Yep, 3-wheel motion.
That's right.
Ray Choi actually had a little issue getting over here with his trailer.
Yes, sir.
He needing tires and the wood collapsing.
Yeah, he broke through his trailer, and he also needed all 4 tires, right? Or 5 tires because he wanted a spare too. Yep. He needed a spare, so he was into it for 5 tires on his trailer.
Traveling to the West Coast wasn't too bad. I mean, that was a lot of windshield time. Nothing happened on the trip out there, and I think the only thing that was a downfall on the West Coast is I left my chair back at the West Coast Finals.
You did? What chair was it?
It was just a nice big seating chair that we were using around the awards. And,
like a black metal chair?
Yeah.
I may know where that is.
Doug might have that possibly in his
I
trailer.
may have a black metal chair sitting in my trailer.
Yeah.
That I was like, where did this come from?
For us big boys. So yeah, that was and it was just a lot of windshield time to the West Coast.
Okay. What was your time frame to make that trip?
27.5 hours.
From Texas to California?
To Sacramento, California, yeah.
Oh, there you go. So let's kind of compare and contrast the difference in the West Coast versus East Coast Finals.
East Coast Finals was very stressful for me personally because we have, not to put anything against the West Coast, but we had a little bit stiffer competition in the East Coast. It was tough. It was stressful. It was a lot of it was an emotional roller coaster ride up and down. So, but we were lucky enough to win, and the competitor that we went up against that gave us a run for our money was very cordial. Came to me, shook my hand, and wished me luck. And I passed the torch on to him because he's going to have the class next year.
Right. You can only win street stock one time.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So, I was thinking of that earlier.
So that was the East Coast, and then versus West Coast. Well, how did the West Coast?
West Coast was way different. West Coast was way different in a very positive manner because I've been from the East Coast to the West Coast, and I mean I've been to Florida to Spring Break Nationals, and now I wanted to go to a show in California, and I finally got to. And first off, getting there, I was scared to think how the other competitors were going to treat us because we were there to take rings.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that was the ultimate goal, is to take rings.
It's the name of the game.
Yeah, and so I didn't know how we were going to be accepted.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as we got there, it was completely, I mean, I was just hit sideways by how we were treated, because it was just, I mean, they were pulling me to their tents and to their trailers to get something to eat and make sure, hey man, are you hungry? Are you thirsty? Are you good? You good?
Mm-hmm.
The conversation was good. It was just, I've never been treated so well at a car audio competition like I was treated when I went to California.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the cool things I saw there, Dan Horner blew a tire on his thing, on his truck, right?
On his thing.
Yeah, that thing.
The driving, the burp.
The Terra burpee thing. So he blows a tire. He goes, dude, anybody here got a Honda tire? And somebody went and literally pulled the spare tire out of their car, full-size spare tire, stuck it on his car, and he's like, hey dude, here's, and they're like, no, it's cool.
Yeah.
You got it. And it wasn't, hey, give it back to me when you're done here. It was, that's yours. Leave it on your truck, drive home with it, right?
Moses said, I took care of that flat.
Yeah, I heard Moses ended up, calling out a company to come and repair 2 tires for him.
Okay.
And that was awesome. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we got to do what we can to keep you guys coming back out here. And I'm debating on going out there next year. If that's in the cards.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, absolutely, man. And I'm glad you enjoyed it out here. We had a blast with you guys out here. It was definitely fun. So for sure.
I will tell you you, Rob Collar, Dan Horner, Pop Tart, Gracie, Joe, you guys all that came out here from East West, the Canadian guys, that really kind of showed the Western California West Coast competitors that there's not necessarily another side, but it gave them a, hey, if they're willing to come here, we're maybe willing to go there. So we may see a few more people drive back east next year, which would be awesome.
Right.
It just takes one, and it's like I said, when we first started, Texas didn't have any competitors. I was the only competitor, and then we have 7 going to finals.
Yep.
So it just takes one person to make that happen.
Yep. I will tell you though, if the guys from California go out back east for the finals, they're going to bring that same thing with them. Not that they aren't competitive, obviously, as you saw, right? They are absolutely competitive, but they're going to have barbecues with them. They're going to have tents with them. They love to have a good time.
And that's okay. That is absolutely fantastic. And I hope that they end up going to East Coast and just coming along and maybe they can rub off on some of the guys here on the East Coast and kind of show them how real shows are done.
Rob says you're driving out to his show in Florida. Lucky.
Rob, yeah. Like I said, he's coming to my show. Yeah, I'm on my way, brother. I'm on my way.
No, so like I try to explain to people, and you really don't understand until you actually partake in one of the shows out here. It's not that they're less competitive; they just have a different mindset. I think the goal is the same, but the way to get to the goal's drastically different on the East Coast versus the West Coast.
I don't think there's a lack of competition on the West Coast because I saw some very impressive builds.
Yep.
I saw a world record get put up by Mexico, and that was impressive.
Yep.
Well,
Jeff
I mean, and then 2 records in Cyclone, right? The no wall and the wall class for father son.
Right. Jeff Boo's car is so impressive that I think I saw a 60 out of it, and I was just like, I just dropped my jaw.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Jeff Boo's cool people, man.
Did you get
Yeah.
some street tacos from him? Him and his wife?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made sure that I got some. So yeah, we did.
Yep. No, definitely. Like I said, all these guys, they're very hospitable over here on the West Coast.
The Down to Pound guys also.
Down to Pound,
Yeah,
awesome.
come
Flex
over, get
Issues,
tacos.
Kyle.
Flex Issues Kyle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
I
Yep.
think the one thing that I would like to see more of at DB drag racing events would be what Moses brought, and that was the enthusiasm and the and the character,
Whew.
the I want to have fun
I-
type of guy, and just all around, he's just such a good guy.
Right. He's definitely enthusiastic. He
Yeah,
is intense.
I don't know if we can handle many more Moseses out there.
Yeah, right. Like I think he had enough for everybody, man. I think he held it down.
Yep. Jay's Alarms. He's one of our sponsors. I've been doing shows at his shop since 2001. He says he needs an exo cage.
An exo cage.
Yeah, is that something you guys sell or something?
Not that I can think of an
Oh.
exo cage.
I don't know. He's a stereo shop. He's good people. He's a big sponsor. He actually sponsored the death match at for our final event at his shop and paid $600. Is that what it was, Lucky?
Well, okay, I was reading the comments. What was that?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Didn't Jay pay like $600 to Ray for winning the death match at his shop?
I could totally be wrong, but I think it was $750, wasn't it?
It might have been even $750.
I think the last one was $700 or $750 because I know he went up at a different amount for 3 shows. I think one was like $500. I think the next one was
No, it was like
600,
300.
300.
It was
5,
like 3,
and then
4, and then
750.
5, and then whatever the last one was.
I want to say the last one was 750. Ray Myastis would know because he won it, but I could have swore it was 750. Could be wrong.
Yep. No.
He's talking about a steel cage. Rough
Oh,
Collar
okay.
said. Yeah.
Andrew Priscilla McCain, Priscilla
Good
being
morning,
his
guys.
wife. Andrew, in case you guys didn't catch it, and I don't know if you saw it, Mel, but he put in another 171 photos on the Sonic
I
FX
did
page.
see those. Yeah.
Awesome photos.
Dude, he did a great job, and we really want to thank him. He went through, he edited the photos, kind of cleaned them up. You know, there was some trash laying around. There was like erroneous trophies kind of sitting foreground instead of back with the people, and he kind of cleaned all that up on his photos. Helps with the lighting and all that stuff. So, you know, that stuff takes time, especially when you're going through 300 plus photos.
Right.
So,
Right.
we absolutely appreciate that, Mr. Andrew. And then he went diving, sucker. He went to 2 of my favorite places in the world to dive. So he did that just to tease me, I'm sure. He does that. Yeah, he went to the Channel Islands and he went Monterey Point Lobos, which is by far
Oh, that sounds nice.
one of my top places in the world to dive. It's freaking awesome. We got Chris Jenner, champion Chris Jenner popped in there.
What's going on, brother?
Late
jumping in, but what's going on? What's going on?
Oh yeah, and Andrew said he ain't going back to them because they're too damn cold.
Yeah, Chris Jenner, he won a ring, right?
He did.
What was it? Top dog or base race?
Top dog.
Top dog. Yeah, top dog.
Top dog. Yep.
That
I
was
knew he was
impressive.
gonna win one. I knew he was gonna win one. I told him from the gate. I was like, "You got a ring coming, man. You got a ring coming."
Yes.
Yeah, that was impressive. The whole the death match was awesome. The top dog was out of this world, and the base race was just really good too. So a lot of good competition out in Cali.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what did you think of my version of running a show where I interact with the crowd and this and that? I'm sure it's a lot different than what you're used to. But
yeah, it was actually pretty interesting. I mean, I like how you keep everything lively and keep everything going, and you're kind of announcing to everybody where we're from and so forth, and you know how far the drive was and stuff. So a lot of props for us from you, and that is different for us out here in Texas. But you know, Jeffrey does a good job doing the same thing, and yeah. So it was great.
Okay, like I said, so obviously everybody does their shows differently, right? When you go to Jeremy's, it's not the same as Jeffrey's. When you go to Jeffrey's or Jeremy's, it's not the same as mine. When you go to Chemo's, it's something different than all the rest of us, right? So, like I said, I don't attend other people's shows, so I don't know, how they do it. I don't know if what I do. I know Jimbo said me doing the auctioneer thing was a little distracting for him. Because they're used to where, so when Ray does a show, he just turns the computer on and that's it. And the
Right.
computer does everything. And I don't quite do that because for me, I feel that we, as in me and you as the competitor, are the entertainment.
Right.
And I approach it 100% as we're there to entertain first, right?
Right. You're the commentator. You're the one that's trying to explain to everybody how
Yes.
everything's going and stuff like that. So yeah, that's
Right.
exactly right. I agree with that.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's
Pop Tart said when Doug runs a show, it feels like you're at an auction. It does, especially doing the base race and Top Dog. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you guys can't even hear me when you're in your cars, though.
Oh yeah, we can.
No, you can't. I can't hear you
Bradshaw,
guys
because you don't listen.
That's probably true. Just ask my wife.
I
She'll
smack
tell you.
talk so much whenever I do, when we're doing the Beat the Boss and I'm running the microphone, Oh my God, I talk so much trash on you when we go. Hey, you really can't hear?
Really, I can't. I and if I can, I don't pay attention. So,
man,
to be honest with you, I just don't hear it.
Just zone everybody out. That's
Chris Jenner says I tuned Doug out. He has to. So, which is totally fine. The intent of what I'm doing is to engage with the crowd and get them invested in what you guys are doing with inside your vehicles.
Yeah, because definitely fun that way.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, the whole idea is if Mel has a ton of time, you lucky have a ton of time invested. I mean, there's so many minor things you guys are doing to your vehicles to get ready for these shows. And the only way that somebody that isn't around us all the time, like the drag racers, come up, the only way they can understand is if somebody explains to them that, hey, we're putting in this time and this is what they're trying to do and this is what's going to make them better. And so I do my best I can to try and share as much of that information.
Being a spectator, that's the stuff, that's going to draw everybody in. You know what I mean? This person drove all the way from Mexico. This person came all the way from over here. Hey, this is their first time competing. This person's been competing 15 years, whatever.
Like that one girl, right? She's never been to a DB drag race, and I had her stand in front of, right behind Jose Ramos' car. Yeah.
She got in
afterwards, she got in, right? So we're doing a 20 hertz test tone at 100 or 120 hertz song. What was he doing? Like a 156 on average or something?
That thing's nuts, dude.
Good Lord.
Crazy.
For sure.
Yeah. And that is not something that you experience very often.
Yeah. And you never know. You never know what, as a competitor or as a promoter, you never know who your next person that you might be bringing into the lane.
Yep.
The next person bringing into the lane. So you just got to keep them, involved with with what's going on.
Yeah. And one of the great things that I heard Wayne say, I've heard him say it before, is as a competitor, bring one person with you to your next show.
For sure.
If we can bring one person to one new person every year, every person, we double in size every year. Yeah. And that's a lofty goal. But if we can bring, on yourself, hey, bring somebody with you to the show. Right? And we've discussed this before. I have never talked to anybody that left the show and go, that's exactly what I thought it was. Yeah, I won't be back.
Right.
Every time it's like, this is totally different than what I thought it was. And they get a different respect for what we do. And that's huge. Right?
I guess Rosa Espinosa is going to be joining in too.
Oh, is she?
That's what I heard.
Wow.
Moses Martinez can actually chime in on that one. There she is right there. My goal is to bring my whole family, triple attendance. But so I heard she might be getting in the lanes.
Read Chris Jenner's post next.
I'll tell you what, I think my wife isn't admitting to me. She liked the show. She won't let me. Yes, Rosa said yes.
All right. There you go. That's awesome. I really appreciate it when people. She's gonna be base racing. She's gonna show Moses how to run that vehicle for base race, I
That'll
guess.
be funny. That'll
Dude,
be
I
funny.
will tell you, Moses' truck is super easy to base race. I mean, I think the last time I ran it, I was holding 9.9 for like 13 seconds straight. It's
Right.
just, oh, dude, it was so easy.
And
So
you
I
don't have
get
to trailer it. He doesn't trailer it anymore. He drives it
No,
everywhere.
well,
He was flying by us, from Alabama, honking the horn, and we knew that was Moses because it was a train horn.
yep.
oh
So
yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh,
and that was a thing different that Rob mentioned too. Or I'm sorry, Dan Horner said, "I've never been to a show where there's so few purpose-built vehicles.
right,
Like this vehicle is only for DB drag, and it was trailered here and dropped off here, and then um,
right.
most of our
Yeah,
guys drove their vehicles to the event.
the
yeah.
Explorer that I have was purpose built, so
Yeah,
I understand exactly what Dan means when he says that.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, obviously his is purpose-built, right? So, you see, anybody has any questions for Mel Valadez? Uh,
That's that's what I'm.
was that your dog?
I don't know, to be honest with you, but I heard something crash in there. Um, Let me go through here real quick. I'll let you guys
Okay.
carry on, and then I'll
So,
jump in and see if I
I
can
can't
find
see
something.
comments, so
okay.
Okay. Are you watching? Do you have your phone handy or another
I do, but
monitor?
it's going dead already. So I just I
Oh.
can't.
I got.
I want to make sure I got enough battery power to thank the people that actually helped me build the Explorer. So
Absolutely. There
Oh,
you go.
go through. Go ahead and thank those people if you would.
good. Well, so first and foremost, my wife Melissa, who's been behind me since the very beginning. There was Fred Montana, Roberto Latios, Luke Hensley, Robert Simon, Donnie Keller, Jay Ortiz, Lisa Giblings with Amp of America, Stinger Electronics, Rusty Flowers, Heath Lay, Tanner Burden, Roger Bridges, Ronnie Purritt, Ethan Mendez, and Smiley Watts. I mean, if somebody was in my garage or somebody was there putting their hand in the Explorer, I wanted to make sure that they got credit for it because it took a team of people to build this championship, and I'm very thankful for all of them for all the time they spent with us.
That's great. Oh, so that brings me to the point. Okay, so this is your very first championship, right? And
This is the third.
oh, this is your third. Okay, so tell us about your journey in competing then.
So it started on March 14th and 15th of 1992, so almost 30 years. So yeah, 30 years worth of competing, and I've never won a championship before until March of this year when I won USAC finals.
Okay.
And then we went to Alabama, and then we won Iasca outright. We won part of the championship in Alabama, and then we had to go, of course, to West Coast to win the other championship. So those are the three titles that we got this year.
Yep. Hey, can you put that background up again and show some people that? So his wife came up with a design, which is actually kind of cool. Tell us about the design and the part we can't see and all that.
Yeah, so the design is basically a triangle with USAC, Iasca, and DB Drag at the bottom with a World Championship logo in the middle of the ring. And she made that for me today so that I can put on my team jersey and all my work clothes. So yeah, she made that for me.
That's awesome. I'm a big fan of the. We've talked about many times about how the women in our lives help us, give us the ability to do what we love to do. Without their support and without them helping us out and allowing us to go out, because it truly is, whether you like it or not, it's them allowing us the time and the ability, because there's other things that have to get done, and they step up and take care of some of those other things that need to get done so that we have the ability to go out and play like this.
Right.
And so we always give big props to our wives and the people that support us and all this stuff.
Yeah, they're a
So,
big part of everything that goes on, and she was here at home, making sure that I had enough money in the credit card and so forth to make it to and from California. So it was, yeah, I'm very thankful that I have her in my life.
yep, you can understand that. Catching any questions?
No, a lot of people talking amongst yourselves in here. If you guys have any questions for Mel, speak
Yep.
up now. Let's
Re-
get them questions out there.
Remember, he also works for AMP. So you're a rep, right? So you sell to stereo shops and whatnot. So
Yes.
we do have a bunch of stereo shop owners watching this. And I'm sure if you guys had any questions for the amp guy, we got an amp guy local here. Anyway, so you did East Coast, West Coast, you did Iasca and USAC. Where was USAC at? Because that was in March, you said, right?
Right. That was in Lawton, Oklahoma, and that was also for 2 years worth of 2019, 2020. So it was in Lawton, Oklahoma. That was a very fun show as well. That was our first championship, and I was doing a lot of praying that day that we came home with one. So yeah, that was
Yep.
nice.
Okay, so we got why you selling the Explorer from Dave Bradshaw, my sandwich maker, and so yeah.
Well, I thought that question would come up, and I'm glad somebody brought it up. It's time to move on. I can't use the vehicle in street stock classes anymore. I have to move up in class.
Yep, that's what I was actually going to ask you too. I get so stuck in these comments trying to read everything as you guys talk that I sometimes lose what you guys were saying. But that's actually what I was going to ask you is what your game plan was now that you got that out the way. So
at this time, I don't have a game plan together just yet. I kind of do, but I'm trying to play it close to the chest.
Gotcha.
And
he doesn't want to see the secret to get out.
Yeah.
There's been rumors being thrown around about base race. There's been rumors being thrown around about another stock 2K class, but there's also one of me becoming a judge for DB drag racing.
Okay,
that's something that I might be interested in also doing for a little while and see how that works out.
Awesome.
Did you happen to watch our live feed last? When did we do that, Lucky?
I think we were just talking about that last night on the Basehead Diaries.
Yeah, Basehead Diaries. Did you happen to catch that one?
No, I didn't. What was?
Oh, that you got brought up about being a judge.
Yeah, my
for DB
background's
Drag Show. What do you do?
faulty.
You got a crystal ball over there?
Yes.
It's all getting lit up and everything. Okay, so yeah.
Anyway.
Tiffany from British Barbados, she said we wanted an amp at one point, but there is already a dealer in Barbados. Moses Martinez has a couple of questions. We'll spit them out, Moses.
Okay. So speaking of the yeah, I got so distracted by the light. I'm sorry. Real quick, while we're at this, we're at the middle of the interview-ish type thing. Let's talk about if you guys want to sponsor our show, this is a great time to talk about it. You can add us a definitely thumbs up and comment on our videos. That helps the algorithm. If you want to throw us a tip, you can do it on Venmo at SonicFX and Cash App $SonicFX. Is where you can send those. Make sure you put tip or podcast on there, and we will. That way, Lucky and I can share in the rewards as far as that goes. We just share the money equally. We help cover the expenses of putting on this event or this, putting on these shows. Right now, we're on episode 34. So we've been doing This Week in Car Audio 34 consecutive weeks. With how many Basehead Diaries did we end up doing, Lucky?
Oh man, that's a good question. I don't know. I'd have to look. It's been a while. Last night was the first one in a while, and I didn't even check what number it was, but it's up there. Yeah.
So I mean, us doing these shows, we enjoy doing them, and we think there's a great benefit to the car audio community. So make sure you smash the like, smash the heart button, thumbs up, heart buttons. If you're listening to on iHeartRadio, iTunes, whatever you are, make sure you hit the like. Make sure you share it to as many people as you can. If you're on Facebook, definitely smash the likes and the hearts, and tag anybody you think you can tag that may be interested in hearing what we have to say and talking about our events.
Andrew McCain said, my amp rep is no bueno. Moses Martinez, what events are in the lineup for your side of town for 2022?
So who's that for?
That's all it says. What events are in the lineup for your side of town? So I don't know if he's talking about you,
Mel?
Doug, for us.
In Texas, we've already started. I think we had a show this past Saturday. So we've already started for the new season. I didn't go to the show, but I had previous commitments, but I'm going to make sure that I go to the shows from here on out and even if it's just to support my guys, that's all about it. So that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, so they already started shows over there. You know what that means, Doug? That
You're
means they're
behind in
getting
points.
That means they're getting points already, Doug. Doug, do you know what I got to do to catch up to Daryl Colley? Huh?
All I'm gonna say is nobody puts on more shows than me anywhere in the world in a year.
Well, I better be points leader this next season. Yeah, we got to get these shows going.
Yeah.
They're already they got a jump start on me already.
Well, I hear there's one coming up in Vegas.
Yeah.
Uh,
Maybe.
It's possible that I'm going to be in Vegas during that time period for
the
SEMA.
SEMA show.
Yeah.
Well,
Awesome.
being an amp guy, you probably are going to be there.
That
doesn't mean your vehicle.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean your vehicle's going to be there. So, are you going to be part of the amp booth?
Yes. Yeah. If I end up going, then yeah, I'll be a part of the amp group, and we'll be showing off new product and technology and things like that at SEMA.
So if you guys are at the SEMA event, walk over to the amp booth, go up, shake Mel's hand, say thank you, say, hey, how's it going? And congratulations, he earned that. We have base race in Kentucky next Saturday.
There you go. Now, those guys in Kentucky are very serious about base racing. They're, in 2019, I was at World Finals, and they were going on for hours, tying for hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they're all about that base race. I think they got the Tennessee base race. Is what they got it.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, love Gracie to death. Man, her nerves got the best of her or something. She only made it through one round. But
being new and then coming over here, that's all odds against you. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so
it
she
is.
Did awesome.
She did.
It was awesome for the circumstances. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it was her against the world, and basically, I mean, different time zone, different vehicle, different radio.
Yeah. No, it was her own radio. She brought her own radio.
Oh, okay. Well,
was it?
Even at that, and then she had to learn it in a couple of hours.
Yeah. Well, I think she
spent the night before.
Dave Bradshaw and all them. I think we're helping her out.
And I believe every penny we got to share with her said, "Come over and kick Dave Bradshaw's ass." Right. Here's $40. Here's $20. Here's $50. Whatever. Right. Come kick Dave Bradshaw's ass, and that was always the comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see her because she's going to be the future of the sport, and
absolutely.
Her and Jimbo. I mean, I think Jimbo he's fantastic at base race. So
if I didn't distract him.
So my first year at finals, 2018, that's who I was going against. Like just back-to-back ties was me and Jimbo, and I didn't know who it was at the time, and it was me and him. We were just killing it, and I remember. I think it was you, Doug, when he ended up getting me. But we tied so many times. Doug was like, man, you really gave him a run for your money. I gave him a run for his money, and it felt good because that guy is off the hook. He is he's something else.
I don't think he's ever coming back West Coast because he can't handle the auctioneer stuff.
Something. I was surprised, man, because he was doing good. But damn, it almost sounds just like a test tone. Doom, 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 doom. I was like, man. I don't know what he was using for a top dog and base race.
So he says
he keeps that very close to his chest too. I mean, I don't think he's gonna.
He said 10 grand. 10 grand. He'll share what song it is.
Really?
Yeah.
I got like $10 in my pocket.
You're short a few zeros on the end of that 10.
Right? Yeah. When I heard it start playing, I was like, geez, that thing is just stupid consistent. Just doom, 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 doom. Yeah. I said, man, that must be easy to hold those numbers. No wonder why he's just holding it. But, whether he choked or what it was, you messing him up, whatever it was. But it was still an awesome show. He did good.
He would never tell me that it was me. He's Canadian, right? So they're super polite. And he would never tell me. But I heard through the grapevine that it was a little distracting, me pointing and screaming and
So obviously I haven't done East Coast yet, but I mean, is it that I've seen little videos, but I wouldn't think that would really get you.
You gotta adapt to your environment, and sometimes it's you can't go to the football expecting a nice sunny day. You're gonna run into some rain, some wind. So Yeah, you got to bring your A game every single day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when I confronted him about that's right, I confronted him. Said, dude, did I distract you? And he's like, well, I got to be better. I can't let you distract me.
Easy way of putting it.
That's a nice way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah, nice way of putting it, right?
Yeah. So, but like I said, in my opinion, the way we do shows is it's not that it's not about the guy in the lane, but there's more to it's a show. And
Yeah.
there's more
Right.
to it than just the guy in the lane.
Right.
So, but hey, Denny finally popped in.
Danny Cardoza.
Yep, wants to complain about your bolts in your truck again. So anyway, so you were considering doing shows, huh, Mel?
Yeah. I mean, well, I don't know if that's going to be in the cards or not, but I just don't know what I'm going to do in the future just yet with
Okay.
DB drag racing or in competing in general.
Okay.
Um,
So
yeah.
anybody can host a 1X. So as
Yes.
long as you have the equipment and whatnot, you can have as many 1Xs as you would like
Right.
personally. So
It's when you go into the double and the triple point that you have to have the experience of being at a World Finals.
yes,
They kind of have to check you out and make sure that you're legit as far as being able to run a show, because it's quite a bit of responsibility to run a show.
yes.
So yeah.
Yep, and that responsibility includes stuff like computer issues and monitor issues, and so there's a lot to it, a lot more than you think. Um, loose bolts,
Loose bolts and
loose DBs. Just
yeah.
saying. Anyway, so speaking of that, Mel, you were doing that, so you don't know where you're going. You're kind of holding it in what class you're going to go to next. So obviously you don't know what vehicle you're going to get. I will say the Exploders have been very successful throughout the years, especially in the lower classes. So I would like to say good luck. I mean we are running up on 51 minutes, so that's a good time frame. I feel. We don't have any shows coming up. We got what's it called?
Toys for Tots.
Toys for Tots coming up. I got SEMA. If there's any shows coming up from somebody else anywhere in the country and they want to come and talk about the shows coming up, more than welcome to come on here and talk with us and kind of share what's going on. I'm trying to decide next week who we're going to go with. We have Kyle and Chris.
Kyle and Chris. Somebody else suggested
Good combination.
from Mexico.
Roberto.
Roberto,
Oh, yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's another good.
No,
one.
that's a good one too. But so currently the people I need to get on and that I've already talked to, Kyle and Chris. Kyle and his son,
Absolutely.
and then Gower. No, not Gower. Who's the guy? Cowley.
Oh,
Daryl
Daryl Cowley. Yeah,
Yep.
Daryl Cowley.
I
Yeah.
got Daryl and his
he's a
daughter.
good character.
Yeah, Daryl
Yeah.
and his daughter. So we have
Oh,
them
yeah.
up, and then we also are going to have, Scotty Johnson to come
Oh,
on
yeah,
and discuss his batteries.
Excess power, yeah.
Yep, and
Yeah,
Nice.
come on and talk
Nice.
about battery power and how to maintain it and this and that.
Yeah, Dan Horner needs to be on the show too. I mean, Dan Horner is just
I-
he's a character and just all around good guy.
We actually had him on.
We had him
Oh,
on here.
okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. He came on just before Eastern World Finals.
Oh,
And he,
Yep.
he straight up announced, "Hey, I'm coming. I'm going to set a world record, and then I'm coming out west to win over there."
Yeah.
So he wasn't hiding nothing on the show.
Yeah.
But he was a good
Yep.
time. Yep. Anyway, remember you guys can hear and see this on YouTube along with iHeartRadio, any of those streaming apps, podcast stuff. We were number 2 last week in podcast when you search car audio. The other number 1 was actually a song called Car Audio something or other. So please like and share this. Any last thoughts, Mr. Mel?
no, just everybody have fun this year. And if you guys ever need anything, you can always reach out to me in Texas. If you're ever in Texas, reach out. And thank you, West Coast, for the great hospitality you guys gave us. Thank you, East Coast too. I mean, East Coast was just as fun, but
Yep.
West Coast, you guys really did bring the party on.
Cool.
Awesome.
And how would somebody contact you?
I'm on Facebook, so you can look me up by my first and last name. It's easy to find.
And it's Valadez, not Valdez.
It's Valadez. It's Mel Valadez. Reach out to me if you have any questions. The Explorer is for sale, so not to be peddling it, but it is.
Hey, go ahead. Put it out there.
If you guys ever have any questions or anything, or just want to know if there's an amp dealer or amp rep in your area, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to get you in the right direction.
Okay.
So what we usually ask, ask at the
Go ahead.
end of a video, interview, podcast, whatever you want to call it, is what is your definition of a bass head?
Oh wow, that's difficult for me, but for me, a bass head is somebody who pulls up to a corner or to a stoplight and just lowers the dynamite.
Yeah.
Lower the dynamite.
Yeah. There you go.
That's what a bass head is to me.
Right. There you go. I like that answer. I like that.
Yeah.
And that's me all the way. That is me all the way. I'll give you the sauce at the lights. Yeah.
Yep.
So awesome.
No, that's
Well,
good.
it was a pleasure having you on here. I tend to be a little bit more quiet on these podcasts because I'm always in the comments going through. So I get kind of lost in there. But it was a pleasure having you on. It was fun having you out at the West Coast. Congratulations on your wins. And anything else, Doug, you want to bring
Pleasure
up?
was all on this side, guys. Thank you for having me. Thank you for keeping the West Coast lively and for just opening your arms to us. I appreciate it so much.
Absolutely.
So for me, for final thoughts on this deal is, I guarantee that if you guys ever come to the West Coast, you won't regret it. You'll come, you'll have a great time. I don't care if it's just for a normal show, for Sky High Barbecue. You come for wherever we're having a show. I guarantee it will be worth your time and effort to come to the West Coast for an event. Not taking anything away from the East Coast guys. I think it would benefit our West Coast guys to travel back east to do an event back there and just kind of see Slamology. It's not often that you'll see 113 entries at a show.
Right.
We do actually, our shows are fairly large right here. Our average attendance is 54 last year. So, I mean, that's fairly large. Texas is probably 18 or 20.
We can have up to about 35 at one time. So
There you go.
It's growing. It's growing.
No, it's growing, and I'm not trying to take anything. So we have good shows out in the West Coast. I mean, shit, half of them are Team Send It, right? So,
Oh man.
So, with that being said, no, you guys travel, go see those other shows. Even if you just go to watch, there's on the West Coast, you got. Hopefully, I can get back. Autorama, we got Surf City, we got CES, we got SEMA, World Finals, obviously. On the East Coast, you got Spring Break. Do they have Spring Break National still?
No,
Oh,
I wish
okay.
they did.
Yeah.
That's a great show to attend.
Yep. So realistically, you got Slamology, Triple Fest, and Sundown Showdown or something like that.
Jeremy Creamer has some triple point events that are pretty good, pretty fun to go to.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, did you get a chance to throw the TV?
No, I missed that. I saw the pictures online and I was like, wow, that's what they were doing. And that's when you all had the tape and all
Yep.
that on the side. Yeah, no, I missed that.
Andrew got a good picture of that. Somebody threw it, and just the angle that it caught the TV out looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yep. Definitely. Anyway, so my final thought, obviously, if you guys want to help support the podcast, just send us a tip. You can do that on Cash App or Venmo. Cash App is $SonicFX. Venmo at SonicFX, all one word. You can do all that stuff. Also, you can listen to us on iHeart, iTunes, Apple Podcast, and anywhere else it's streaming. If you go to your streaming service and they do not have it, let me know and I will get that in there. Remember to smash the like and the heart buttons, thumbs up, hearts buttons as much as you can, whether it's a download or whatnot. We're trying to grow this. We're growing slowly, and I hope that we grow faster. I would love to see this thing just take off and see, 3,000-4,000 views. We had people watching us at the World Finals. We had 3,800 views for our World Finals event.
Nice.
On the West Coast, so I know people love to watch this. Remember, I also broadcast every single show I do live on Sonic FX. So you guys can go there to Sonic FX on Facebook and watch those events. I'm going to start putting them also on YouTube, edited down to just the runs. Other than all that, I thank you guys. Thank you, Mel, for coming on and being with us this week. Lucky, thank you, sir, for what you do and what you do.
Absolutely. Being quiet on This Week in Car Audio. If you guys want to see me act a little more lively, we're going to start doing the Basehead Diaries again. That's where you'll see me, and I won't shut up. And I'm a little more in control on that one. Some of them. Doug sometimes has to step in if we get more on the technical side. But last night we did a little test run on there, and I was just yapping away, going crazy. So, yeah. So keep your eyes peeled. There will be another Basehead Diaries coming up, maybe in a couple of days. Who knows?
Yep.
Touch bases. Keep your eyes peeled.
All right, guys. Once again, thank you for tuning in. We will see you next Monday night at 6 p.m. California time. We're here every Monday, and we'll have a new guest, and we'll talk about them and talk about car audio and what it can. I'm looking to bring on more manufacturers, and like I said, Scotty Johnson to explain the issues with battery power, and maybe even bring on some people about alternators and whatnot. And we're going to keep Lucky's side more with the Basehead Diaries more towards the competitor stuff, and this side or towards individuals, and we're going to keep the This Week in Car Audio more towards the business side and how to make your rides better and ideas on testing. So once again, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you for tuning in, and we are out.